So let's talk organization because we are the second episode in for the year. And I know that it's February, but it doesn't change the fact that I think with systems and processes inside and outside of your business, uh, it just helps. And being organized just helps. And I thought that I would share my ways and how I organize my life like it's a competitive sport because it is. It can be a little bit crazy. And what I've noticed is, over like the summer and, the time I've had a little bit of a break from a business, it's people have come in and into my home and my life and kind of have had the same kind of things have been said, like, you're really organized, everything just flows. It's very calm in this house, considering that you have like an 18-month-old, a 3.5-year-old, and a 5-year-old. And, that flows into my business as well. And I wanted to share with you what I do simply for the fact that for you, you might pick up something that also could be a little life or business hack that helps you to do the same thing and have, your day running smoother as a whole. And, you know, having this podcast is all about sharing and helping you to up level. And if you can have, say, part of your life at home organized in a better way where everyone's calmer and more efficient and all the things, then that then flows into your workday and how you start your workday and run your business and all the things. And I think they're very interconnected. And so whether you're a health brand or not, this could actually help you. Or by all means, if you have a better hack of doing something or a better way of doing something, send me a message on Instagram. I would love to hear it because sharing is caring, right? So I build so many efficiencies into my day and into my week that I want to share them with you. And I think it's important. And it's a really nice way to start the year running with the podcast because I'm just doing things differently. So, how I organize my life like it's a competitive sport. The first thing I want to talk about is bags are packed the night before. Okay, so depending on who is doing what the next day, life gets sorted accordingly and ready to go. And we have, an area in our home where they all go and everyone knows what they're, well, except for like the two little guys, but the big guy knows what he's doing the next day. And so bags get packed, things get organized. If I'm going to the gym early in the morning, the bag gets packed, like life, everything the night before. Water bottles are always filled the night before. So in the morning, there's no scrambling and everything is, ready to go. I plan my outfit the night before. It's not War and Peace, but it just saves so much time in the morning. And I get it out ready to go and I literally just put it on and that's done. And I've thought about it the night before. And I usually do this the night before after I have a shower. So I'm like fresh from the day. The other clothes are gone in the wash. And then, I'm ready the night before. And I even plan my outfit the night before if I'm having a work from home day or no meetings or even if I'm just going to the playground with the kids, I always have my outfit planned because it's just so much easier than putting something on and then, oh, that doesn't work for today and blah, blah, blah. So I'm really, really planned the night before. The other thing that I think is very helpful to be organized is everything in the pantry and everything that is kind of like a pantry item, we have labeled and we have them in like clear pantry containers. So we know what's running low to be able to, and where it belongs to be able to reorder it very easily. Stuff like kids' wheat bix and cereal and all the things, they all have labels. So you can see that it's running low and it just makes it so much easier to keep everything restocked. And so it's all very clear. And so it just removes the guesswork. It removes like finding stuff because you can see straight through the container and it removes that fatigue of stress in the morning or in the day or even at night when you're cooking. Everything that can be labeled is labeled. And I just love this. The next thing I wanted to say is we have a Google Home in our house and it pretty much runs our brain or runs my brain at home. So shopping lists, reminders, Amazon lists, timing. So if I have something on in the oven. I just set a timer and then it goes off so I don't forget that it's in the oven because I get sidetracked by my kids' needs and wants and demands like every second of the day. And so if I'm cooking something that goes off, I don't even have to worry that I'm going to burn it because I set the timer. All the shopping lists are audio, so it connects to our phone and it's all like systemized. And so whenever anything's running low through the week, I just add it to the shopping list, voice activated. So I'm not keeping lists and random papers and random notes in my phone. The phone is for notes for important stuff. And then my brain doesn't have to hold on to these things. There's also Amazon lists in there as well. So hard items like shopping powder, baby wipes, nappies, all that sort of stuff. That's all on reoccurring order. So it's not really something that my brain has to remember to do. It just, all those boring essentials are on reorder, glad wrap. And if it's a non-negotiable, like I never want to think about it again. So it's out of my head. It's done. And the next one is personal appointments. So this is hair. They're booked like now, 6 months in ahead in advance. So future me is definitely grateful for this one because I need to get in when it fits in with my life. And this year we have a whole new routine and way of working because kids are doing different things. And so that's really nice now. It's a little bit more planned and they're locked in. I don't have to think about it. I just go, I just rock up and it's set and it's when I want and it's all organized and I don't have to spend time ringing and booking and ringing and booking. Like it's done. So if you can find the time to do and book things like that in advance, even if I didn't do it for the year, I just did it for 6 months and then I'll do it again. So I'm really only doing it twice this year, which feels really good. And then the family calendar. That comes first always. So we don't have a share calendar, but the calendar requests come through for our family. My husband and I put them both in. And so I've put everything in and around what the kids are doing for the year now in the calendar in terms of the formalities, and then work fits around that and not the other way around. So if, you can't possibly book something in with me where I have a commitment with kids stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. And everything is color coded. So in my calendar at a glance, it might sound super crazy and kind of, my calendar is like an Olympic sport, but I can just look at it and I know, okay, I've got a bit of work and a bit of play with the kids tomorrow or like the week in advance, what that looks like. So it just becomes super helpful. And I've been doing this for a few years now and it really, really, really works. The next one is like backpacks and people's stuff in the house. So every bag has a permanent like drop zone spot so that it is, they're not randomly like sprinkled all over the house like rubbish and know like where you put it, now. When the kids take their Crocs off, it's like they know that they have to go in a certain spot. I don't ask them to put them in their rooms, but they have to go in a certain spot in the house so they're not like right where people sit down on the couch or right where I need to be in the kitchen. Like they know now, right, you take them off, you put them in a certain spot. And so I think this has become a bit of a game changer, especially as they've gotten older. And it's not the biggest thing I'm asking them to do. And there's only a few little things that they know they need to do because they're still so little. And that's one of them. And yeah, the bags in a certain spot. And I did say outfits the night before. Yep, I said that. I'm just going through, I have a few dot points for this podcast episode. And desk stuff. So I keep a little tray, like a pending tray on my desk. So anything that is pending that needs to be done sits in there. So it's not strewed like random papers all over my desk. I have, to some extent, mostly a paperless desk, and that just helps to keep everything compact and in order. And then when it's done, it gets moved out. So I, the admin lives in a sleek velvet tray on my desk. So nothing is scattered, nothing is forgotten, and it's just one clear zone of action in that tray, and I love that. The next thing I do is before I go to bed, I just make sure that the house is reset. So it might take me 10, maybe 20 minutes, but it helps so much. So all of the toys in my house get put away in their homes. And I know this sounds like a massive job, and trust me, 3 kids, it is a massive job, but it starts like a really clean slate the next day. And I try and do it as the day goes on, but obviously, at night there's just stuff that, and you think, how did that end up under there? Or like, how did that go from where it was to over there and the rest of the little whatever you're playing with didn't? And it's just so interesting to see what they do with their toys and how they get to where they are and all the things. But that gets reset, surfaces wiped and clean, dishes done and put away. It's not like super, super perfect, but it's done enough to start the day calm. And, things like puzzles and things, they get put back away how they were. But, there's some toys that are in parts and pieces in different tubs in my house because it's just, no, that requires a big deal thing to happen. But they get put away clean enough so that my house doesn't look like it's, a play zone when like I wake up in the morning. It's just beautiful and reset and clean and how it should be. And the other thing I do before I go to bed is try and organize what the breakfast looks like. So whether that be putting together a chia seed pudding, which when you know how and you've got that recipe down put in your head, it becomes like autopilot and automatic. You know exactly what goes in there. You know exactly the bowl that you use, that you like, that it works, that you like to eat it out of, or overnight oats or homemade granola, which we love and everyone eats as well. And I start the day just getting it out and feeling really healthy and done and dusted like in the morning. It's just great. Now, I'm not saying that my life is just one big like walking on a cloud and I live in fairyland and I'm so organized because I am organized for somebody that has 3 small children. Yes, I am very, very organized, but it's not like textbook. It's not robotic. It is just kind of, it's still crazy. But if you can input some of this stuff into your world, it will help you to start the day on the right foot. And some mornings I train really early and then I'm home before the kids are even, eating their breakfast, which is great. And just being really organized to make that happen. So you know what you're going to do the next morning, the night before, and you set yourself goals to be able to do that. Now, I've got a couple of like goals this year personally. I want to actually read some more physical books, which I did a lot of audio books last year, and the physical books just didn't cut it. Because if you know, don't forget that at the beginning of last year, I had a newborn. And so it was just difficult to actually read a book. But not the beginning of this year. Life is a little bit different. So it's pretty awesome. I want to read some physical books. I've got heaps of audio books in my Audible wishlist cart ready to go. And yeah, that's one other thing I want to do. So for me to be able to do that, I have to put the book out near my bed. And even if I get a couple of pages in before I go to bed, then that is like a win for me. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. It may sound intense, but this level of organization buys me some calm and clarity and capacity to be able to run this business and be able to do what I love, because I think it's kind of funny. Like, it's without this, I wouldn't be the mum that I am. And without doing that and being the mum, I wouldn't be able to run the business that I do. So I kind of need both to thrive, and both make me so, so happy. So I'm just a better mum because of this. And with kids, life moves so fast, and the systems and the processes that I've put in place helps to slow it down. And honestly, I think that is where the real luxury lives. I hope that you've liked this episode. If you did, let me know on Instagram, send me a voice message, or even, a text over in my DMs. I would love to hear from you. And that's all for this week, guys. I will catch you next week for another episode of the Hayley Osborne Show.